Hi, as you noticed, I'm not here today, but because I'm not here today, I videotaped this exact same lesson that I would have taught if I were to be here today. So please enjoy. Okay, when you guys were a little baby kid, you saw a furry creature running across your floor in the living room, and this is what you did. You went blah, 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 and then you try to go eat it, right? You know you did. And your mom said, no, don't eat the kitty cat. And you're like, ah. You picked up a crayon and you went over and sat behind the couch when your mom wasn't looking with a dirty diaper, and you went like this on the back of the couch. And you said, and your mom said, no, don't draw on the couch, right? So she gave you paper, and you did the same thing on paper, and you went, blah, blah, blah. And your mom said, did you draw a kitty cat? And you said, and she wrote kitty on it, and hung it on the fridge. Kitty by Haver. Okay, hung it up on the fridge, mailed it to Grandma. You did more of them. This is a kitty, this is a dog, this is whatever, okay? Next time you saw a kitty cat, you might were a little bit older, you picked up a crayon, and you drew this. Hey, the video stopped right in the middle of my lesson. Hey, I just tacking this one in here. I drew a kitty cat. Here it is. Okay, here's the kitty cat. Then I drew Mommy. And then I drew Dada. And then I drew baby sister. Something like that, right? Family portrait. All right, so, right? You drew your whole family, you got the family portrait, you mailed it to Grandma. Oh, jeez, don't tell me I burned my chocolate. All right. Next time you looked at kitty cat, you noticed kitty cat's pretty fast. He gets away from me. I can't ever catch that cat. Why? It doesn't just roll away on its head. It has a way to get fast. It's got legs. You notice Mom has legs. You notice Daddy has legs. You notice little sister's got something, not really sure what it is. Okay, little brother, whatever. Anybody have a little sister in here? Yeah, that's exactly what she looks like, isn't it? No? Oh, all right. Then you looked at your cat. You're a little bit older now. And you notice that your cat and your mom don't exactly look alike. So you're starting to refine your ideas of how you're going to represent these things. So you drew, this time you can count. So you counted, cat has 4 legs, mom still has 2. Cat has pointy ears like this. Mom's got like this stuff on her head. Dad's got this stuff on his head. Baby's got this. Okay? Starting to definitely develop something, your ideas. These are called schema. Everybody has them. You need schema to survive, because when you were a little kid, you didn't know how to read and write. You didn't even know how to speak. How would you make sense of your world? What happens is you kind of form this little picture in your brain somewhere, and that's your idea of what these things are. So you can represent those things in reality and communicate your ideas, because you can't write, you can't speak, right? So they develop. When you're looking at this, you notice kitty cat's got a tail. Baby sister's got some extra stuff going on, okay? You need those. Those are natural. Those are normal for your human development. If you didn't have this, when you're 23 years old, a cat's going to run across your living room floor, and you're going to have to ask your mom, what's that, Mom? And your mom's going to say, remember, we went over this. This is a cat, okay, cat. 4 legs, furry, pointy ears. And you're like, okay. And then the next day, you got to ask the same question, because if you didn't have schema, that's what would happen. Okay, you need that. The only problem is, does your mom really look like that? No. Okay? This is not what things look like in the real world. This is how your brain records this kind of information. It's called your schema. Can you think of anything else that you might have a schema for in your world that you might draw? Say, for example, if I were to say tree, what would you draw? What would it look like? I know what it looks like. What are you going to draw? Something like this, right? And don't forget the hole for the squirrels. Got to have a hole for the little squirrels to get into, right? People still draw, my mom still draws trees like this, okay? That's a schematic idea. What other schema might you have? Yes? Flower, that's a good, very common one. Something like this, right? The circle bump bump. Draw some leaves on it. Oh, it's a flower. What else might you have a schema for? Go ahead.
Food.
Like what kind of food? Like a pizza?
Sure.
So like this? Something like that? What about your house? What does your house look like? I know, because we all have the same exact house. It looks just like this. 4 walls, everything you need to know about your house. 4 walls to keep the bad guys out, a door to get out, a window to look out, and a roof to keep the rain from going on your head when you're trying to sleep. Right? Everybody lives in a house like that, correct? Does your house look like this? No, but you drew a house like this though, didn't you? Everybody's drawn a house like this. Okay? What else? What's in the sky? What were we gonna say? Clouds. So how do you draw those? Little fluffy puffs. What else? Let's stay in the sky. We got a lot of sky stuff.
The sun.
The sun looks just like this, right? A little yellow spider peeking out of the corner of the picture. Or you do the one where it's just like a yellow spider floating in the sky with a happy face on it. If you're really fancy, you want to put some sunglasses, because every time I look at the sun, I notice that the dude up there is wearing sunglasses on his face. He looks just like a yellow spider, right? Is that the way the real sun is? No, it's a schematic drawing, okay? You have this, you need this, it's important. What about birdies? They look like M-birds floating in little McDonald's logos hanging out. Anybody ever do this one? What's that? It's a rainbow! Okay. That's cool when you're playing Pictionary. If you're ever, anybody ever played Pictionary in here? Board game? You got to draw something really fast. If you're playing Pictionary, you need to draw this way because you need to communicate your ideas quickly and simply. But when you're trying to draw something that looks like what's really real in the real world, this isn't going to help you. In fact, this is going to hold you back. These ideas are going to hold you back. Okay? Go ahead and pause. You guys were asked to draw your hand in your sketchbook for Give Yourself a Hand. How many people did one of these? Raise your hand if you did this. That's a lot of people. Okay? Guess what that is? Is that a real hand? No, that's one of these. If you like, you can put a beak on it, some turkey feet, and a wing, and write Happy Thanksgiving because you just drew a hand turkey. Okay? That's not exactly what your hand looks like. That is a schematic idea of what you think your hand looks like. It can only look like that in one position, by the way. You got to stretch it out really far and lay it really flat. That's the only way you're going to get that shape. Did anybody do it this way? Here, let me erase. I'll erase the tree. How about one of these? Maybe you didn't do it now, but have you ever drawn a hand like this? Yeah. Call that hamburger helper. Maybe put some fingernails on it. That's a really detailed hamburger helper. Okay? Or, you know, Mickey Mouse's gloves or whatever. Put some knuckles on it. Okay? That's still a schematic drawing. That's not exactly what your hand looks like. If you're ever playing Pictionary, draw a hand that way. But if you're trying to draw things that look like they really look, you're going to have to do something else because that's not going to work. Okay? Today I'm going to show you an exercise that will take you from this kind of idea of how to represent your world and make it so that you can actually represent your world in the drawing and it will look just like the real thing. Okay? Go ahead and pause it. You're going to watch a video on YouTube in a minute showing you exactly what to do. The technique is called blind contour drawing. This will help train your brain into recording what you actually see instead of your schematic ideas of things. What you need to do after you watch the video is tape your white paper to the right side at a 45-degree angle and then take your sketchbook and cover your view. Then you're going to lay your hand out in front of you in a relaxed position and just let it sit there. With your other hand, you can't see the paper. It's a blind contour drawing is what you're doing. With your other hand, you're going to put your hand on the paper and you're going to begin to slowly record the information that you see in your hand without actually looking at the paper. You're only going to draw what you see and not what you think you see. Every crack, every crevice, every lump, every bump with one line. Never take your pencil off the paper and never take your eyes off your hand. You just continue to do that until you've recorded every segment of your hand accurately. Since the video did this, I'm not gonna finish this drawing, but yeah, you get the idea. Okay,